Hey everybody, hope you're doing well. We are in our final for the month of February. The month of February for our 4 steps to growing your business. So today's the final step. We've been having it's a beautiful day outside. So I hope you're all enjoying this because I guess there's a nor'easter coming on Friday. So there's your weather report. Unfortunately, no snow. So it's just gonna be another rain event. And so enjoy this beautiful weather while we have it. We're sitting here in beautiful York, Pennsylvania. It's good. So what I thought we would wrap up today with, we've talked about mindset. We've talked about using social media. We've talked about sales and a different way to approach sales. And those are all good things. But now I'm going to give you the 5-step system, really simple, to just maximize what you're doing. Because this is the one thing for most business owners that drives them insane. And there's things like they want more time, they want more money, they want to be more profitable. So how do you do that? We talked early on, and we're going to recap here because this is kind of the summary of everything we've done this month. You got to know what your goals are. That's really the only prerequisite is to say, hey, this year I want to do X. And then you start breaking it into time frames. Now, I'm a big fan of the 12-week year. If anybody has not heard of that, go out and take a look at the 12-week year. It's on Amazon. It's a great book. But what it does is it breaks down your year into 12-week increments. And it's something that I've been doing. I've used Gazelles in the past, which is very similar. It's quarterly, but it's really about getting focused. So let's just write that word up here because this is what we're talking about today is focus. And what we're focusing on is your activities. Are you doing the activities? So where do we start with this? Well, first thing is, what are those activities that you do right now to generate money? Because for all in business, there are certain things that we do to generate revenue, whether it's networking, maybe you have a sales funnel, maybe you're doing stuff online, or maybe you're doing podcasts, or maybe whatever those activities are. What we're creating here is a repeatable system. Okay, so and if you don't know what the activities are, well, you got to start someplace, and that's where a great business coach or whatever is going to kind of guide you on maybe the starting. But we're going to give you the mastery of this today. So you start with your activities. And then the next thing you do is that you plan them. Now here's the deal, people, my friends, is you plan, you have a kind of a week or a year, you have what you're doing monthly, weekly, and daily, right? So in our office here, we have whiteboards all over the place, and that's how we plan all of our activities, networking events, speaking events, podcasts, Facebook Lives, whatever, because those are the activities that generate leads. And then we schedule them, okay? So a lot of people, this is where they break down. The next thing we do is we track whether or not you're executing the plan. So what I like to have is a simple scorecard. We're doing 4 or 5 networking meetings a week. Did we do 4 or 5 networking, whatever that number is, that week? And then you're going to score this, right? How did you do? So here you have a number of activities, and then a number of activities completed. Okay, and you're going to get a percentage. And you want that percentage to be over 85%. Because if you're doing consistent activities and you're over 85%, that you're going to get results. So that's good. But that's the next step. Did you get your desired results? So, we're starting here with activities. We're saying, did you plan them? Did you get them in your calendar? Are you doing them consistently? Did you execute that plan that you just created here? And this doesn't have to be hard. You can use a planner, you can use a whiteboard, you can use Google Calendar, you can use Outlook, doesn't matter, but you want to do this. And I'm going to make a note here about time blocking, because this is something that everybody comes and says, how do I get more time? There's a simple technique around that. Then you're like, did I get the results? Did I get them? Because here is the heart of it. You can only know if you're going to get results if you've executed your plan. And if you're not getting the desired results, now you can change and add new activities. This is adopt, right? So you go through this, you're like, did I do this? Or now you can make the conscious decision. See, what you're doing is you're empowering yourself to make decisions on how you're spending your time. That's the beautiful thing I love about this system, is you're saying, hey, if I'm going to networking events and they're not netting anything, then stop going. Go do something else, right? But you don't know that unless you're measuring this. And you're planning it. Yes, I'm going to them. I've got it planned. Yes, I'm going to them. Did I get any out of that? Yes or no? If I didn't, well, then take those activities out for the next 12 weeks and insert new activities. You know, maybe you're going to put more of a push on social media. Maybe you're going to do different outreach. Maybe you're going to start a meetup. Maybe you're going to do a bunch of other things. I mean, there's, if you've ever read the Guerrilla Marketing book, a lot of great stuff in there. There are generally over 200 things you can do right now. So this is one of the things that I challenge the people that we work with. They come in and say, well, I've tried everything. Well, have you? What have you tried? Now, thank you, Devin, for the coffee. So when they come in and they're like, hey, I've tried everything, you know, generally what we start to look at is they've just done one or two things, three things here over and over. You know, they just cycle here and they're like, well, I go to networking events. I do a bunch of different things and nothing's working. Nothing's working. I've tried everything. Well, no, you haven't. And you really can't even make the assertion if you're not doing things consistently, if they're working or not. Because some activities take more time to develop and figure out whether or not you're going to get any results out of them. So, and then once you have this system going, the other thing that you're doing psychologically is you're creating a rhythm. You're creating a habit. You're creating a roteness to execution, and that's what's key. Now, like I said earlier, one of the things that people come to me is like, there's just not enough time. We all know there's 168 hours in a week. So how are you using those 168 hours? Most people come to me and say, well, I'm really busy. And quite frankly, I don't really care if you're busy, and I think busy is an excuse. What I'm looking for is productive people. Are you using your time productively? This is a way to get the productive tasks down, out on your calendar, and then execute on them. And if you're focused on the dollars, and you've got these things scheduled, and we do the things closest to money, clients are closest to money because they're paying, and then it's your revenue generating opportunities or activities. Okay? Those are sacred. That is sacred time on your calendar. But people come to me like, well, Tim, I can't do this. I can't plan this stuff because, you know, I'm busy or things come up or I have to fight fires and stuff. And all of those are excuses. I'm just going to say it out loud. All right? Because you can and block your time. So one of the things that I've learned, and I've done this in the past when I was running big teams as an example, because I was constantly on the phone and whatnot, is people would interrupt me throughout my day, right? So if you're got a team and you're constantly busy and constantly firefighting, then let me erase some of this here if we're going to come back. Erase these. Make an example. So let's just say you have a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, right? That's your calendar, time slots. Okay, and then you have 8, noon, 5. Simple thing, especially. This works really well if you have a team. Now, it changes the way people think, and this is why people are like, well, I can't do that. Well, why don't you try it first? Okay, I'm giving you pure gold right now. So if you're coming through and you got activities, and say you're networking in the evenings, so that's sacred time because you know that drives that. Okay, so I create a scorecard over here. I'm like, all right, my networking is 5, and then I just tally up how many of those I did. 5. Great, now we're tracking it. We're in the plan and execute phase. Time blocking. So one of the things for team members is block out, say your 8 to 9 o'clock hours, and say that's team time, right? And what will inevitably end up happening is as you publish that and tell people like, look, I'm dedicating an hour of my Wednesday, first thing in the morning, to you guys, to my team, whoever that may be. They don't have to chase you, they don't have to find you, they don't have to do anything other than know that you're available to give you a call and say, yeah, I got this, firefighting goes to here. What I've seen when teams do this is effectiveness goes up dramatically because and maybe you got to do it 2 or 3 times a week. Maybe you do it Fridays, maybe you do it on Mondays. I don't know, but you guys can figure that out. But this is chaos time. This is team time for you to set that expectation. And what you're doing is, as a leader, you're leading by example now, and these people are going to know where to find you. You're sitting there, you're going to handle their issues, and what's going to end up happening is this time gets less chaotic throughout the week. Okay, so that's one thing. Now, the other thing that ends up happening is you block out time for the minutia, for the busy work, or as I like to call it, the bullshit work. Yeah, I said it. All right, so then you block another hour out, maybe a day, maybe it's every other day, and you just say, hey, look, this is what I'm doing. Maybe it's follow-ups or invoices or whatever, but you make sure that you get those things planned as well. Now, this is a great way to put in your to-do list. We all have them. You have all your to-dos on there, but you're doing and you're banging out your to-do list in these time slots. Because what invariably happens, if you don't take control of your time, your calendar controls you, right? So by doing this, you're saying, all right, I'm gonna knock these things off my to-do list, it's great, then I got these other ones, I'll do them here. And again, what you're doing is you're retraining and reprioritizing the things. Because if you don't, and you're just like your calendar, you're trying to fit these to-do items in the empty space on your calendar, which we all have very little of. And that's why we say we have no time, right? Because we're busy, because we're filling it with these. But if you block it off, you'll be amazed at how much of that stuff you can crank out. So, to recap a little bit, this is the execution plan. So what do I do for my clients? As an example, we just started some weekly calls. We're doing accountability calls, and we're starting here. All right, what are the activities closest to money? What are they for the week? Come in, all right, when are they planned? And I'm kind of a stickler for this because it's not like, well, I gotta make some client calls. Well, how many? How many client calls are you gonna end up doing? All right, and you put a goal on that, and then you go do it. I'm not gonna tries an excuse word. I'm gonna try to get home on time. Either I'm gonna get home on time or I'm not. So, we really start to focus on the language and the execution, and then we have the team of clients, they start to plan this out, and then on the following Monday, we do an evaluation. We score them. All right, you plan these activities. Did you execute those activities? Okay, great. Next question is, did you get the desired results out of this? And then we track it because you need generally a couple weeks to see if you're getting momentum. We got to build momentum. That's what we're doing. We're building momentum around this. And if you're not getting those desired activities, then we start looking at new activities, new tactics to use. So this is the crutch of planning your day, your week, your month, your year, and making sure that you're aligned to the goals that you have established for your company or your business, your team, or whatever. So I hope you found this enjoyable. I did. I love doing these. Devin and I are going to figure out what we're going to do for March, so stay tuned for that. We got a lot of great stuff coming up, and I hope you all have a beautiful, wonderful day. Take care.